Good morning, everyone. Lori Marie here, mixed media artist in Vallejo, California. The sun is up, the video is made. Now I need to intro and get you going on it. This is Chloe. I don't know if you remember Chloe from a past video, but every once in a while she comes and visits us. She'll be here for a few days. And so she's going to hang out in my lap. Maybe. So anyway, we're going to work on the altered book today. I haven't worked on it for a little while, and I'm so compelled to get back to it this morning. So what I have done on the 2-page spread this morning is to take an image that I was attracted to, and I put it through my laser printer using a fun piece of paper to print it on. This particular one that I used has lots of numbers on it, so it's got a lot of interest going on it in the background. And then I tore it up into strips and put it on the page. So it's very, very fun, very easy, and fun background that we worked on. So what else do I need to tell you? Thank you so much for all the new subscribers, much appreciated. Thank you for all of you that are ordering goodies through my Amazon links. Yeah, the channel is growing every day, and as you know, I make art for a living. So I appreciate all the support you've given me. Oh, chatty, chatty. All right, see you on the table. Okay, let's go through the supplies. It is dark o'clock, so hopefully the light is good enough. So you're going to need your altered book, and I've got pages glued together on this side from something else, and then I glued 2 pages together on this side. So that's all ready to play with. You'll need some underpants of some sort, some bits and jibbles off your desk. I have 2 colors of spray ink. I've got a blue and kind of an orangey yellow. I've got some 91% alcohol with a dropper this morning. My scissors, my Stabilo. I'm going to show you how to use the credit card instead of a squeegee this morning in case you don't have a squeegee. The credit card works just fine. This is my Mod Podge this morning, with a brush and some paper towel. I have an image that I'm going to use. We'll talk about this a little bit. A ruler for tearing. And a piece of fun paper. This happens to have a bunch of numbers on it. So what I did with my image is I put it in my laser printer and I expanded it to 150% so that it was larger. And then I ran this paper through my printer. So you need to cut the edge off so that it fits in your printer. And then I ran the paper through my laser printer using this image at 150%, and it came through like this. Okay, so that, I think I got all your supplies. I don't have a heat stick here this morning with me because it's in class, so I'm going to be using a blow dryer. The heat stick is better if you have it. I'm going to start off by adding underpants to my 2-page spread. Alright, I'm weak in the center here, so I will put underpants over that to strengthen that area. And I'm just going to tear these up into bits and glue them on with my Mod Podge. Since there are yummy words on the pages, I'm not completely covering the pages with the underpants. I'm just adding 2, but I still want to be able to see some of the words from the page. So I am just decorating it a little bit with some underpants. And then we will move forward. So I grabbed the blue spray ink and I'm just going to add that to my page. And before that dries, I'm going to drop some alcohol into some of the heavier spots. And I'm going to hit that with the dryer. Alright, there's the blue ink. I do encourage you to heat set it if you can between sprays. Then it doesn't muddy up so much. So now I'm going to add it's kind of orangey yellow. We'll see. We shall see. And I'm going to spray this. Beautiful. Take some alcohol. Just do some dripping. And I'm going to heat set this. So as I'm looking at this background, I'd like to see little flecks of white across the pages. Now remember, we're still just working on the background, but it feels like some white splatters would be good. So what I've done is I've just taken some white paint, put it in a little dish and added some water, stirring it with a handy dandy toothbrush. And then I'm going to just flick across the pages like this with my toothbrush. And it just kind of adds some energy. That's very fun. Okay, that's feeling more energetic for sure. Perfect. Let me dry it. Oh, the sun's coming up, gang. All right, so that's the background. I'm going to set that aside, and I'm going to grab my focal point, which is my image that I've printed on a piece of paper with numbers on it. And I'm going to grab my ruler because I want straight tears on this, but I still want tears. And I'm just going to remove the image, or the edge that doesn't have the image on it. Okay, so I have the important part of the focal point. And what I'm going to do is I am going to go down this entire piece using my ruler as my measuring, and because I can't do a straight line to save my soul. So I'm just going to go down the entire piece and gently tear it in strips. Now the edge pieces that I tore off, oh, perfect underpants for in the future, right? So I'm just going to go down my entire focal point and cut it or tear it into strips. You can make these strips however wide you want them. I just happen to have this ruler that works perfect for my tearing. Here's my focal point torn into strips. Try to keep your focal point in order. That would be helpful. Okay, so now I'm going to grab my book back and I am going to start gluing the focal point into the book, leaving a little space in between. I'm going to move these aside, keep them in order. So I'm going to put Mod Podge on the piece. And then I am going to put the piece on my book. Now, what if you don't have a squeegee? You can use a gift card or a credit card. Those will work just as dandy. Make sure to remove the glue off each and every time you scoot down or up. I'm going to take the next piece and I'll put Mod Podge on it, and then I'm going to space it so that there's a little bit of color between. And then I'm just going to work down the page like that. Mod Podge, down, space, Use your credit card or your squeegee, whichever one is more comfortable for you, and then just put that down, okay? And I'm going to work from this side over. All the pieces probably won't fit, but I'm okay with that. I'm just going to place as many as I can. So I'm on the last piece here, and I will just let that hang over the edge of the page. And I will trim that off later. And when you do squeegee it or use your credit card, please remember to clean it off every time because you're going to move some ink. And you may or may not want that on your focal point. I don't know. Pretty cool so far, huh? This is an amazing couple right here, and then there's little fairies in the background. I don't know if you can see those or not, but it's such a fun focal point. You may have some trouble with it in the spine area. Just mush it in there. Do the best you can. I'm going to let this dry. Then I'm going to tear this edge off, this extra edge off, and then I'm going to go around the edges with the Stabilo, and then I'm going to go around the edges of the focal point with a little bit of Stabilo too. While this is drying, let's do a little recap of what we've done, okay? I glued a couple of pages together on either side. This already had some glued together from a previous page, so I just glued a couple of pages together on this side. I did reinforce the center with a coffee-stained fabric. Put down some underpants. Sprayed a darker color of ink with a little bit of alcohol drops. Heat set. A lighter color ink, alcohol drops, heat set. Found that it needed just a little bit of a break in the energy there, so I splattered some white acrylic paint that was diluted with a toothbrush. Just flicked a little bit of white on the background. Now, why do we spend so much time on the background when we cover it up with the focal points? There is an energy that comes off the back of the, there is an energy that comes off the background. And it's much more interesting for the eye than just a white background. So that's why we spend a little bit of time on the background. It makes it fun to look at. Then we took an image to the laser printer and ran it through on an interesting piece of paper. Removed the white edges off that interesting piece of paper and cut the focal point into strips. And then we glued that down. All right, she should be just about dry. I'm going to remove this edge and start with the Stabilo. Okay, those of you who have played with me before know that I Stabilo most of my pieces. That's my final touch. And I will have a link in the notes for Stabilos. It's much cheaper if you can buy a dozen of them. You can get a dozen of them for like $1 each. Whereas if you buy one, it's almost $5. So maybe you have a friend that you can share Stabilos with. That would be nice. So we're just about done here with the smoky finish of the Stabilos. Look at these hands. Hands of an artist. Pretty amazing. So that is another page in our altered book. Unfortunately, I could Stabilo forever, so I'll just call it quits right there. So how about that? Very fun. Very, very fun. I might add some white dots to some corners. Let's do that. So I just want to add some energy in a couple of spots. And I will do that with the white dots. Ta-da! All right, my friends. Go be creative. Go play. Go have fun. I hope this has been fun for you. It's always fun to have you on the table with me. I'll see you next time.